We've got 30 whole more minutes. That's
Perfect.
fantastic.
All right. Hello, we are live. We are doing Google Hangout on Air for Edcamp Home. My name is Sarah Boucher. I am going to be the moderator today. This is my first Edcamp Home, so we'll see how it goes. I currently am in Las Vegas, Nevada, where the weather, it's humid and disgusting, so that's fun. And I teach K through 5 technology next year, and so that should be fun. Janine, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. This is my second year as an instructional facilitator. I have taught high school chemistry for 17 years and just wanted a new role, so switched on over to a coaching position, teacher coach, and was supposed to focus on technology last year. That didn't really happen, so they promised me this coming year we can include some more tech. So that'd be great. Looking forward to it. And I'm in Casper, Wyoming.
Oh, very nice.
Sweet. My name is Elizabeth Gould, and I taught kindergarten last year, and I'm not really 100% sure what I'll be teaching next year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's a fun story. But I might be going back to second grade, which is kind of fun. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, I don't know. What else do you want to know?
Second grade's the best. I mean, I taught that last year, so it's the best.
Yes.
Just have to say.
Yeah.
So, do you guys use Google Hangout in your classroom?
I don't. I want to learn more about it. I went to ISTE and learned about Hangouts and communities and all of that, and I'd really like to bring it to our district. I have a lot of teachers that I'd like to share it with, and so I just would like to learn more about it. I know one of the ISTE standards is to, communicate with other, I don't know if you want to call it countries, but break down the walls of the classroom, and I'd like to even start with kindergartners, even using this with kids across the hall, starting, on a small scale, and then stretching maybe even to other schools in our district, and then taking it to other states or countries. But starting small and then expanding on it. So I just want to learn more about it.
And Elizabeth, you use Skype in your classroom, right? Or you have?
Yeah, I haven't really used Google Hangout because, hold on, I'm trying to make my toolbox go away. Oh, maybe you just click on it. There you go. Oh, okay. I've used Skype like several times, and it's been really great. The one thing I don't like about Google Hangouts is, well, I think it's a blessing and a curse, because you can record it and you can share it and refer back to it, which is great, but it's public, which I really don't think is a great idea to do for the kiddos. Even if we have all those permissions and stuff, I feel like it's just a little too public. So I don't know. I haven't quite figured out if there's a big benefit for using Google Hangouts versus Skype, like in the classroom.
Well, that's a good question. I've used them both. And like you were saying, Janine, how you want to start small, you can do big. The first time that we Skyped, where was it that we Skyped to? California. So, I mean, it was just a neighboring state, but my kids had such a good time. And then after that, we've Skyped to Delaware. We've Skyped to, I know we talked to Scott Bedley's class. We talked to, 4 or 5 different states throughout the U.S., and it was really easy to set up. And I think even with like first grade and second grade and even kinder, I don't think it would be too hard. Did you have too much difficulty? Sorry, I can't talk today. Elizabeth, when you were Skyping, did you guys Skype? You guys did mystery Skypes, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I did mystery Skype with second grade, and okay, I'm sorry. Tell me how to say Janine, right?
Yep.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was saying that right. Have you done any Skype calls with with any of your classes before?
I did Skype a few years ago. Yeah, just we played a game actually, just with another high school across town. Just with chemistry, it was just like, not needing to talk to somebody across or state lines or whatever, just learning about it. So just played around with the game.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry, but can you refresh my memory and tell me what grade levels you are teaching right now? Or
well, I'm a teacher coach, so I have access to K-12, and I just kind of rotate around. So.
Okay, so one of the things that I did that was great with Skype, this was specifically for like kindergarten, was we did mystery number Skype.
Cool.
So if you've heard about mystery Skype, it's great, and Sarah can probably tell you a little bit more about that even. Anyways, it was really too advanced for kindergarten, and so what I did is we did it a couple of times where we did mystery number, and I let the kids pick a 2-digit number. I wrote it on the board so like the other class wouldn't be able to see, and literally it was so simple. Does your number have a 5? No!
So cute.
Moving back and forth. And I would have liked to have done it again where we could have gone farther into like, let's talk about the ones, the place value, the ones, digit and stuff. But we didn't even do that. We just said, does it have a blank? And process of elimination, we finally figured out the number. We cheered, we screamed. It was very exciting. Very sweet.
Yeah, good idea.
So that was like perfect for kindergarten. And Sarah, did you do some mystery Skype? I think you did, right?
Oh, yeah. That was, I hope my admin isn't listening. That's pretty much all we did the last week of school. It was a lot of fun. And so, Janine, what you do with mystery Skype is the way that, because we did it, and I can't remember who the teacher was, but bless her. Okay. But bless her heart, man. I was just fumbling all over the place, and she was totally cool with me messing up. So what we do is we get a blank map, and it's just of the United States. And so we kind of outline major things like the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, Mississippi River, where's Canada, where's Mexico, because my kids were asking them, are you in Canada? I'm like, you guys, United States, they're up here. Yeah. No. Right. One of my kids was funny. He goes, are you in Antarctica? I'm like, clearly you have learned nothing this year. So, but what you do, I mean, it's just like guess who. So but I told my kids they have to ask yes or no questions. So do you live on the East Coast? Yes or no? And then, therefore, they go through and they eventually figure it out. The best, though, is when they are on the East Coast because they really have to look at, where the other states are. So they're allowed to ask, like, do you border Delaware or something like that. So by process of elimination, they have their paper in front of them and they just cross out the states. And I really helped them out the first couple times because they're second grade. They don't have the United States memorized. So we did it that way, and we even went and we Skyped with Scott Bedley's class, and we did that with his is 5th grade, and I had 2 second grade classes and a 5th grade class in that room, so like 60 kids. Easy, as long as they're engaged, and they all loved it. And my kids, they were checking the 5th graders their questions, and it was really funny because one of my kids is like, "That's not a yes or no question. You can't ask that. That's not an appropriate question. You need to pick another one." Yeah. But I think you can. And what I've seen other people do, is like you said, within your town or within your state, they have to get really specific. So if you're doing 4th and 5th grade, like I know in Nevada in 4th grade, we learn all about Nevada. It's Nevada history. That's basically all they do. So what we would do is just purely, Skyping with other classes, and having them say, okay, do you live in this county? Do you live near this or this? And really understanding their state. So that's a little bit how we did our mystery
That's
Skype.
Cool. Yeah, what I did is I played Battleship with the periodic table. And so the one class would pick an element, and the other class would have to guess. I don't know if you guys know about the periodic table, but there's certain names for certain areas of the periodic table. So just like is it in this area? Is it in that area? So that was way fun. The kids had a blast.
No, that sounds like fun. I wish that it would have been that exciting when I was in college.
Yeah.
Seriously. I did learn one good lesson because I used to teach second grade, and we got hooked up with a class, and I really didn't know the teacher. I mean, you don't. I think it's helpful to know the teacher ahead of time, but you don't have to. In this case, I didn't know her ahead of time, and she taught fourth grade, so the kids were older, and they lived in some tiny little town in like Nebraska or something. Like, I don't know. It was definitely like too advanced for for my kids, you know? Like, our maps, I only had a couple computers, and so we really weren't using like Google Maps. We're just kind of using the back of our social studies books, and you know, the maps didn't get that specific, and so there was like, I was having a hard time finding this place. So good to try to match up ability levels, or have that kind of, you know, like how far detailed are you going to get ahead of time.
So where are you guys finding your people that you're Skyping with?
I use
Hangouts with, I should say.
Yeah, and like depending on, like, Skype isn't very good at my school. We have filtered, so I just bring in my own computer and use Google Hangout. Like when I was trying to Skype with Scott, it didn't work really well, so I go between Hangout and Skype just depending on what we need to do. But I just went on Twitter and I literally just was like, hey, I want to Skype with some people, and hashtagged mystery Skype, and I like filled up my days. I mean, we seriously, that's all we did. That's all we did for like my kids were worn out because it's just doing more than one a day is just too much, and we did like 3 in one day, and they were like, are we doing another one? I'm like, no, not today. We're okay. But you can go online. You can go on, I think it's Skype Education.
You write down our names, and boom.
Yeah, there you go. No doubt. Yeah.
Yes,
I
just tell us when you want to Skype.
Will just be all. Yeah, I have some teachers that would be all over this. That'd be great. Oh, well, and then the other thing, I don't know what. I've seen it in many classrooms, but I don't know if it's part of their curriculum, where the little teddy bear, they mail the teddy bear, you know, from state to state, and they put it on a map, right?
Well, I've seen that. I did in second grade, so this was 2 years ago now. I did what's called the Teddy Bear Project, and there's this, Sarah, I don't know, I'm learning that not a lot of people know about this website. It's called iEarn, like the letter I, EARN.org. And you do have to pay. It's an annual subscription, but it's not a lot. Like, it might be $40, I think. And what it is a database of global learning projects. And there's a lot of really good stuff there. And so what my kids did was we did the teddy bear project. So we mailed a teddy bear to Russia, and then the class in Russia mailed it to us. Okay, first, mailing things to Russia is not easy. It's expensive. And it took like 3 tries, because apparently the Russian postal system is not exactly reliable. But so my kids did that, and then they were working on a blog with the other class. It was pretty cool. Let's see. So that was, but that's not the same thing that you were talking about.
Well, it's similar. You know, the teddy bear goes from, you know, state to state to state, and then they place it on a map, and whoever got it was somebody's grandma or whatever. They just kind of go with who they know. And then the grandma writes a note, and the note goes up. You know, the teddy bear's been to Cincinnati, it's been to Florida, so that would be really cool to Skype, I think. You know, here's the teddy bear, here's the classroom, here's what it looks like outside. I think that would be really cool to do with the little, and I want to say it's kindergarten that I have this one gal in mind, but.
That would be cool. I've seen the Flat Stanley, and I know that my brother and sister did that, but everybody has one of those, and you mail it out. But it might be exciting to mail out a couple of teddy bears. Sorry, I didn't mean to shout in the middle of you talking, Elizabeth. My entire Google Hangout froze, and I was like, where did they go?
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be exciting. The benefit that I like about Google Hangout and Google On Air is, like you said, that you can, you know, tape it, and it's a lot easier to screencast than Skype is, but I think we'll have to look into seeing if you can make it private, because I don't want my kids plastered everywhere, and I don't think that their parents do either.
Well, so Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Let me see. Hold on. I was going to send you guys the link for the teddy bear blog, except for some reason my website is down. I have no idea why. The person that's helped me set that up, I just sent him an email, so hopefully he can figure that out for me. So a Google Hangout does not have to be public, but if you want to be able to like save it and record it, then like what we're doing right now, this is public. But before Sarah pushed, do you see in the upper right corner it says live? That tells you that it's being recorded and being pushed out.
So even because
that's optional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I know that, but even when you go to, because they all upload to YouTube, so even after it's gone to YouTube, you can't make it private?
No, you could, because it'll just be a YouTube video, and you can make it private. But like, when I first did Google Hangouts, I had to do it for my master's degree, and so there was a group of us, like I think 3 or 4, and we were completing an assignment. We had certain questions we had to answer. They were somewhat interesting to us, really not interesting to any average, like regular people. But we had major creepers who were like, "Ooh, looks like you're having fun," and we're totally in and watching us. And Sarah can see, but you and I cannot see. Like, you'll be able to see how many people are watching your Hangout. Like, can you see that right now, Sarah?
That is creepy.
Yeah, it says 1 viewer. That's all I see, but it won't tell me who. So.
Yeah, it doesn't really tell you who, but so yeah, if you're doing a Hangout with your class, you don't want random creepers watching,
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Okay.
But it's too bad you can't make that part private, because I just had this idea in my head. Wouldn't it be rad if you were doing a Skype call or whatever, and you could record it just like on air, blah blah blah, but only for certain people, like allow only like the parents to watch or something, and not so that you would block out the creepers. But I don't think that's possible.
No, that would be a good idea. We will send that in, Elizabeth, and it'll be out on the next update, I hope.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah, I didn't realize that random people could watch. I don't understand the science behind that, because we had to be invited, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's just odd.
To join.
Oh, but you could watch. I see. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, still don't want creepy people, so then I guess we'll just stick to Skype if we're deciding just to screencast. Yeah, because I would like to record like what I do in my class, to show other people, but the only way I found out is you have to use like a third-party apps when you're using Skype, which is
and have you found one that's free? Because I've only found ones that cost money.
Nope. I've found ways to get free, but nobody heard that. But have not found any free ones.
I can't remember what the tool was that I used, but it was like you had a free trial for like a week that I had to use for my master's class, but then you had to pay for it. So I was like, well, it's not something I need every day, so I'm not gonna pay for it. I just have one of my students use my flip cam and just record the whole thing. You have to edit out about 98% of it to find anything worthwhile to save, but
oh, okay.
But you get some cute stuff. It is funny. I learned that you have to have a big lesson on, okay, you need to record the people and the conversations and the people doing their jobs, not the bulletin boards. Not like, because they're like, look here's our project about this. I'm like, oh my God. So, kind of funny.
That I can totally see my kids doing that too. That's funny.
Yeah.
So are you guys in your building, do other people use Skype and Hangouts, or where's your buildings with all the tech stuff?
Oh, wonderful question. Elizabeth, you want to go first?
Yeah, this past year I was at a different school than I was for the prior 6 years, so I can tell you about 2 different schools, except for they were both exactly the same and nobody did anything like I was doing.
Oh, yeah. Good for you.
It's fun trying to teach everybody how to use technology, and they're like, oh, it's hard, but I'm like, look, it's really easy. And then at the end of the year when we did all of our Skypes or, our whatever, mystery hangouts, everybody is like, oh, my class wants to do that. Will you show me how? And I'm like, really? You've had all year. But yeah, my principal and I invited a lot of people into my class, and I had a lot of classes that came and did it with us, but none of them went out and said, okay, that's something I want to do on my own. So next year, since I'm teaching K through 5, they've just kind of decided that I'm going to do it all, which is fine because I'd be the only one doing it anyways. So
yeah.
we have a lot of technology, but it's not allocated to the right things, and we're not getting enough training on how to properly use it. So, that's always the problem, is getting everybody to use it.
Right, and we have a big problem with the training piece, as you just said. We have it, but teachers are overwhelmed and they don't have time to figure out how to use it. So it sits a lot. Yeah,
it does. And it was really, it was just easy. The first Skype that we did, I had no clue what I was doing. I just was hooking things up, and we got it up, and the teacher, bless her heart, she was so nice because she was like, are you in this time zone? I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, nope. And you know what? Our state, isn't next to that one. Like, I was so nervous, but it was so nice. Oh, yeah, I was like, I gave her the wrong time zone. And then what was funny is my kids, the map that I gave them had the initials of the states. It just had, so we're sitting there, and there's like 3 states left, and she's like, my kids asked, does your state end with a vowel? And so, of course, I look down, and I see there's Tennessee and Kentucky. And I'm like, T-N or K-Y? I was like, oh, Kentucky. And she's like, looks at me like, you know where I'm from. Why would you say that? And then I was like, oh, my gosh, it's Tennessee, you guys. It's Tennessee. Tennessee starts with ends with an E. So it was quite the story. She probably won't Skype with me next year. But, it was nice to have that. Go ahead.
Sarah, did you give your kids jobs to do?
I did not, but next year that's what I want to do, because I feel like it moves and a lot smoother when you just tell them, hey, this is, I need you to record this, or I need you to ask the questions and things like that. But I had my kids for 2 years, so they already moved smoothly. Like, they knew my expectations. They've literally had me for 2 years, so they're, I tell them what to do. They were okay.
Did you teach first before?
Yes, I taught first grade. Yeah, first grade. Then I rolled up with 12 of the same kids into second grade.
Okay.
So, and then I cried, of course.
Got
Bawled the entire last day of school. It was fabulous. Didn't think that 12 little monsters would make me cry so much, but yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
What grade? And you're doing K5, so you'll get to see your 12 monsters. So it'll all work out.
Oh yeah, I'll still get to see them, so it'll be okay. But I can't wait to use this in the class, because the kids who weren't in my class, they were so excited, because I only did one with I did 4 other classes. I did one Skype with them each, and they were just so stoked. They were like, this is awesome. And then I went on Twitter, and I was like, oh, we're going to tweet out to that class. And my kids, of course, are like, oh, yeah, Twitter. We know how to use that. And the other kids were like, what? You guys use Twitter and you talk to them? I'm like, yeah. So it's easy. I just wish everybody knew how easy it actually is.
Yeah.
Because I think it took us from start to finish 20 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all. I don't know. That's all I have to share.
So Elizabeth, your school isn't very techy either?
No, they're trying to teach everybody, but yeah, it hasn't exactly just happened though.
Yeah.
So that's okay.
In our district, the one school is just amazing, and they've got even tech their students are tech leaders and will go and give PD on tech to other classes and schools and that thing type of thing. And then we've got schools just like you talk about where one teacher in the whole school is tech, pushing the tech. And so we've got huge extremes. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? So yeah, I wish I could. There's definitely more like information that you can see. I would totally send you my my blog that has like some stuff written about this, but it's not working right now. But if you want to later, you can look.
Sure.
It's elizabethgould.com.
Okay.
And yeah, and I would definitely, if you're doing mystery Skype and stuff, definitely look for jobs. I think that helped my kids a lot. Gives them a purpose.
What jobs did you give them, Elizabeth? Like, what were some of the example jobs that you had?
They would, let's see, we had the greeter, we had the person who would ask the questions, we'd have the back channeler who was like the, I had like very low tech, so literally they just had like the little composition book and wrote down everything they heard. And even for second grade, they actually did a really good job. They wrote down a lot of stuff. And then I would have some kids, I mean, I just started making up stuff to give everybody a job. Like one kid had to like, their job was to like write the day and the time of when it was going to happen on the board for us so that we'd all know when it was going to happen. And then, the jobs that they loved the most were to be the photographer or the videographer. And I even made them write down why they wanted to do it. It was awesome. Because I had the school digital camera, and it was like old and crappy, so I did not care if they, whatever, like it was totally fine. And then I taught them how to use my flip cam. So just depending on what kind of, if you have a bunch of iPads, or you don't want to have all the kids doing that, but I loved having the pictures from while like the things happen. It's been really cool to have those. And if I'm trying to like sit there and help make sure that the kids talk loud enough and everything like that, then I can't be the one taking pictures too. So it works out. It works out well.
Good tips.
Cool. Yes, thank you. I think jobs, after reflecting on it, jobs would have had them more engaged and more excited. I mean, not that they already weren't, but I think that would have been a lot better in the end.
Yeah. So that's what I did. And yeah, if you need more, once you get started with it, then definitely if you need help, let me know. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sarah, it's 5:40.
I know. I was just looking at that. All right. Well, ladies, thank you so much for joining me. And
thanks, Sarah. Thanks, Elizabeth. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. All right. Have a great day. Bye.